Hello, SouthNaz family. Pastor Gretchen here for your Midweek Moment. Today's reading is going to be coming from the book of Mark chapter 4, verses 35 through 41. A quick, brief part of what happens in this story. The disciples and Jesus are in a boat, and there's a storm happening. Jesus is in the back of the boat, asleep during the whole thing. The disciples go and they wake up Jesus, and Jesus comes up and he calms the storm. Be still and be silent. He calms this storm. It feels like we're in a rocking boat, and it feels like the waves are getting bigger and bigger. We might find ourselves asking the very same question that the disciples did to Jesus. Teacher, don't you care that we're going to drown? Don't you care that people are getting sick? Don't you care that people are without jobs right now? Don't you care that students aren't in school? Don't you care that? And I'm sure you can fill in your own thoughts or your own question. But where do we find Jesus? Asleep on the very same boat that was rocking and swaying and filling with water, unaware of the horrible storm that was frightening the disciples. He was so asleep that the disciples had to wake him up. It wasn't even the wind and the waves and the water crashing in onto his face. The disciples had to wake up Jesus. Jesus then wakes up and he rebukes the wind and the waves. But here's where I pause in this story. I pause because I don't think Jesus was just speaking to the wind and the waves in this story. I think Jesus was speaking to the disciples too. He spoke these words to the disciples, but he's also speaking them to us. Silence, be still. I know that when I'm overwhelmed or I'm scared or I'm worried, I begin to talk a lot, or I might not talk at all. Or I start trying to keep myself really, really busy. That way I don't have to be thinking about the things that I'm fearful of or the things that I'm worried about. Or I might want to shake my finger at God and say, why, Lord? Why is this? Why is this happening? Why are you letting these things happen? But this clouds my ears. It clouds my heart and my mind to hear the one who wants to give me peace. Silence. Be still. These are really challenging words for us to hear, and it's easier said than done sometimes. Staying quiet or sitting in the quiet, these things are not comfortable for us to do. And it might even seem impossible for some of us to do now that our kids are home or we're having to work from home. Being silent, being quiet, that's a hard thing to do right now. Be still, that can be even more challenging, especially when we're cooped up inside. And everyone needs our attention. All of our kids are home and they're all needing our attention. They're needing lunches made. They're needing homework done. They're needing help with that horrible homework that they have to work on that we can't understand. Or we're noticing that long to-do list of things that are hanging on our fridge. But suddenly the wind stopped and there was a great calm. Here's where I take a deep breath in this story. Just like we do with our kids when they're getting really, really upset and we can just see in their face and their bodies that they're tensing up. We tell them to do what? We say, count to 3 and take a deep breath. It was like Jesus giving us that permission to take a deep breath. Silence, be still. There was calmness then on the water, the sky, and in the boat. And I'm sure it wasn't just seen across the water or in the boat, but there was calmness in the hearts and the minds of the disciples as well. There's a song by Lauren Daigle that's called Look Up, Child. And she simply says this: God, in the storms and the things that are going that we just don't know what's happening around us, I will continue to look up to you. So I want to be reminded and encourage you this morning to be people who look up to the one who brings peace in this storm. Not people who are fearful or wondering if God cares at all. Although we don't know when this storm will be over. We don't know when this will all be done. But we can look up and we can hear God's voice. Remember that God is still in control and this storm will be calmed. We just need to remember to be silent and to be still this morning. So just a reminder that our Sunday morning webcast will be on Facebook. You can watch it on Facebook, on YouTube, or on our website. If you have a need or if you're having trouble watching online, please email us at southnaz@southnaz.org, or you're welcome to call the church office and we would love to help you with either your need or helping you to be able to watch our services online. You can also give your tithe online through the online website or through our app. So we also want to keep connected with you, and we encourage you to connect with the people by phone call, by email, by text, by an actual letter, by connecting with the people that are in your small groups, or connecting with the people that you would normally sit by on a Sunday morning. So let's keep connected with each other during this time.